almost killed my best friend. Story time. Ooh, it feels hella weird saying that. Story time. Story time. Story time. Oh, not the laugh. Okay, anyways, every Friday after our 10+ hour crusty ass shift at work, me and my bestie always go to Chick-fil-A and then we go to Dutch Bros after. So we go to Chick-fil-A, we go to Dutch, we get our food and our drink and we're feeling real good. I'm driving back and I decide to be quirky and I'm like, oh my god, let's stop at this lookout spot. Because I wanted to be all cute and be like, oh my god, let's take pictures of the stars. Let's like stargate. Like who lets me make decisions? Because bad shit always happens. So I park, and keep in mind this is on the cliff. We're only sitting there for about 10 minutes and then all of a sudden this guy starts charging towards my car. So I notice him and I scream. I'm like, oh! And then I lock my car because I don't know if he had a gun or whatever. And then he walks to my car and knocks on the window. And I'm like, oh hell no, this cannot be happening to me. My friend sitting in the passenger seat laid down thinking that the guy can't see him. And I'm just staring at this guy like, ooh. As he's staring at me, he puts something up to the window. And I think he's about to shoot us. Ew, I have to make a part 2. I'm so sorry. I almost killed my best friend. Story time. Part 2. So the guy's at my window, right? And he's knocking. I'm just sitting there scared as fuck, like, oh my god, what the fuck does he want? Like, is he trying to kidnap me? Is he trying to steal from me? Does he want to ride? Does he want to ride? If you know what I mean. And my friend's not being any help. He's just laying there acting like he's invisible. I felt like I was in this alone. So the whole time I'm staring at this guy, I'm just thinking, how the hell am I gonna get out of this? Because if I did a 3-point turn, which is how I would have to leave, what if he pulled out his Glock? Like, Jamal, don't pull out the 9. So I made the executive decision to roll down my friend's window. I rolled down my window and asked, sir, do you need help with something? This man really asked, do you need some tree? After he asked me that, I was so relieved, but I was so angry. Like, how did I get so afraid of the local drug dealer? After that, I said no, and then I sped off. And then I almost hit a deer, and then swerved into oncoming traffic, and then swerved right back into my lane. God was testing me that day, I swear to Bob. And that is how I almost killed my best friend. I'm gonna tell y'all about the time I was toxic. Story time. So let me throw it back to the time me and my boyfriend started dating. I was crazy in love. Emphasis on the crazy part. Well, anyways, one day we made plans to hang out, and I was supposed to drive to his house after work. So I get off work and I realize that he hasn't messaged me in 5 hours, which isn't something he normally does. So I started freaking out. And not gonna lie, at the time, I had my speculations about a couple girls. So I messaged him, hey, I just got off work. And I waited about 30 minutes and still nothing. So that's when I said, I'ma head out. And I drove to his house. Keep in mind, at the time, he lived an hour away from me. So I drove to his house, and tell me why on the way there, my car breaks down. Like, my car was literally smoking. But the good news is I was only like 2 minutes away from his house. So I park at this nearby Starbucks and I start running to his house. The very first thing I did when I got to his house was look through his window. Yes, I told you guys I was crazy. Part 2 is gonna be embarrassing. The time I was toxic. Part 2, story time. Okay, I guess the better word would have been crazy, because toxic really isn't the word, but still, I was crazy. Anyways, I drove to his house and my car broke down. And then I was literally running to his house crying. Like, I looked like a hot mess. I looked like a bum. Because the whole time, I thought that he was at his house with a girl. I thought he was cheating on me. Like, that's why I thought he wasn't texting me, is because he was talking to another girl. That's why I was crazy. So I get to his house and I peek through his window because I was like, ooh, I want to see what he's doing. So I peek through his window and I see nothing. It was too dark. So I come around to the front door and I bust through it. I flung that door open so hard that I put a dent in the wall. Like, I was ready to beat his ass. So coincidentally, right when I busted the door open, his roommate was right there. And he was like, hey, Kenzie. I was just standing there looking crazy with tears in my eye. And I was like, so where's Luke? Where is he? I was literally confronting his roommate just to find out that he was sleeping. I can't tell you guys how crazy I felt. Moral of the story, don't be toxic. I almost got shot at a party. Story time. So back when I was 18, one of my homegirls decided to visit me. Keep in mind, I lived about 2 hours away from her. In the ghetto. Anyway, she gets to my house. We're having a great time. We're chilling, we're vibing. Then one of my friends hits me up and says, hey, yo, Kenzie, there's a party tonight. You should slide. So, of course, I tell my homegirl, bitch, it's a party. Let's go. My friend was kind of nervous about it because this was her very first party that she's ever went to in her life. So she didn't know if she should go or not. And I was like, girl, like, you're going to be with me. You're going to be with Kenzie. Baby, we're going to have a good time. But I also did tell her if she didn't want to go, she can just chill with me and we could drink at the house. She ends up saying, fuck it. And we both go to the party. So we Uber to the party. This bitch is fat. There was hella people at this party, but it was lit as hell and everybody was turned the fuck up. Well, anyways, in the front of the house, there was a drug deal going on. And that's when everything goes south. Buckle up for part 2. So I already posted part 2 twice already, But you know, TikTok took it down like usual. So I'm gonna attempt to say it in a different way. I almost got shot at a party. Story time. Part dos. So me and my friend went to the front of the house because we were tearing it up on the dance floor and your girl was just, you know, a little hot. So we took a step outside, which is where we saw the drug deal happening in the front of the house. Everything was fine. We were all just chilling until all of a sudden, the guys that were doing the drug deal started arguing. Me and my friend just sat back and watched the show. And then one of the guys arguing pulled out his gun and started waving it around, yelling at the other dude, telling him, "Where's my money?" As he's waving his gun around, he accidentally shoots it. The bullet hit a car and broke the window. I was legit standing this far from the car. So me and my friend booked it, called an Uber, and went home. Peace out. My pad fell out in front of my boyfriend and his family. Story time. So y'all remember when your girl was evacuated? Well, I remember that, and it was not fun time. It was quite tragic, actually. We were living out of the trailer. We kept on moving back and forth because that fire kept getting closer to us everywhere we went. Let's not forget the fact that I had to drive 2 hours to work. Other than that, it was quite delicious. Anyways, when we first got evacuated and we were packing our shit together, there was some essentials that I forgot to pack. AKA my pad. So I had just gotten off of work and I was driving on my way back to the trailer. An hour into the drive, I get this terrible cramp. Ladies, you know the feeling. And I realized I started my cycle. When I got back to the trailer, I didn't have anything I could use. So your girl had to use the old reliable TP. Ladies, don't act like you never had to do this before either. I changed out of my clothes, used the TP. I was walking out to go to the store. As I was walking, right in front of my boyfriend's parents, toilet paper falls. What made it worse is my boyfriend thought it was poop. He made fun of me at first and then he felt bad. I ran away crying. This 6-year-old man tried flirting with me at work. Story time. So last Friday I was at work getting that coin, and in the middle of my shift, my lead had me do some COVID screening. Anyways, this old man comes out of his appointment and he sees me sitting by the door. First thing this old man says to me is, "Damn! If I knew you worked here, I'd come in more often." I don't know what it is about me, but for some reason, old men are always hitting on me. Like, I don't understand it. And how am I pulling y'all with this big old zit on my forehead? Like, y'all really don't care. Anyways, he continues talking to me and he's like, "You know, I might need a caregiver and I think that you would fit the position. You can massage me, we can do other things." I looked at him and I was like, "I'm not qualified for all that. I just work here." Then he left and I thought that was the end of it. But then he really came back. He came back just to talk to me. My own boyfriend doesn't even do this for me. And when he came back, he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I never introduced myself. My name's Craig. You got a boyfriend?" I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Well, tell your boyfriend that Craig is gonna steal you." Jail. Then he told me don't have kids and left. I thought I was gonna get kidnapped yesterday. Story time. So I got off work at 6. And at this time, it's already dark as hell outside because I missed daylight savings. And God knows I'm afraid of the dark, so I ran my ass to the car, locked the doors, and drove off. As I was driving, I heard this weird noise. I thought it was my heater, so I was sitting in the car like, what the hell is this? God, you're really telling me I gotta spend money on a new heater? So I turned off my heater, and turns out it wasn't my heater. And I was just sitting there like, what the hell is that noise? So I'm looking around and I see this note underneath my windshield. Right as I see this note, I also see this car tailgating me. This car was so close, I thought it was a cop. Then I start freaking out because I think this car's following me. And on top of that, my friend had just told me about this new sex trafficking thing where they leave a note on your car. When you pick up the note to read it, that's when they steal you. Well, in my head, that's what I thought was going on. And I just sat in my car driving and crying like, I don't want to get stolen. So I tried to call my boyfriend, and of course, the call doesn't go through. So then I switched lanes to see if they were following me. And sure enough, they switched lanes too. So then I decided to pull into this gas station. And they pulled into it too. Turns out the guy was actually trying to get gas. And the note was for tamales. My bikini bottoms fell off in front of a boat full of people. Story time. Bruh, I'm so embarrassed. Like, y'all don't understand how bad it was. So if you follow me on Instagram, you're gonna know I went to Aruba. You're also gonna see that fire-ass booty pic I just posted, so like, go like it or something. Anyways, I was in Aruba, living my best life. Your girl was on vacation. I was turning up, getting tan, drinking rum. I was really living my best life. Until one day I decided to do some water activities. I went parasailing, I went snorkeling, I went jet skiing. But we're gonna talk about the day I went tubing. That's when the trauma started. So I get on this boat and we're getting ready to go tubing. I get on the tube and we start flying down the ocean. Like, we were doing donuts in the water. I was slipping and sliding everywhere. It was just a really fun time. Until we were going a little bit too fast. So I was holding onto the tube about to fall off. But instead, my bikini bottoms fell off. And everyone saw everything. It was almost like they say a full moon. And 2 people took fucking pictures for free. And so obviously I let go and I got in the water. And then I couldn't find my bathing suit bottom. They were literally gone. It was a fabulous I just made a lady get in a fight with her boyfriend. Story time. Ooh, I I know y'all missed that. So I was just here chilling in my car like so, and my break was about to be over, so I walked out of my car. And at the time, this car was not here. Anyways, as I was doing that, this lady pushed her shopping cart into the empty parking lot. And apparently, me opening the door to get out of my car scared her. And she literally yelled at me. She yelled at me. For what? For what? She really said, you gave me a fucking heart attack. You don't sneak up on people like that. Then she literally just started going on and on and on about how you don't scare people. And right before she walked away, she really said, you're lucky, I could have hit you. Like, bitch, I wish you fucking would. I didn't even say anything. I was just shocked at the fact that I was literally getting yelled at for walking out of my car. Like, please, bitch, I wish you would have hit me. I could have sued you for that motherfucking Mercedes that you were driving. Missed opportunities. Anyways, right when she walked away, the cart started rolling towards her car. And literally right before it hit her car, I grabbed the cart because I'm nice. Hear that, Karma? Anyway, she looked at me with disgust and she was like, you didn't have to do that. I would have grabbed the cart. I walked away and I heard her boyfriend go off on her for being rude.